Welcome back to MMA Al Dente. I'm here to talk about Daniel Marcos versus John Castaneda. My prediction for this fight is John Castaneda hands Daniel Marcos his first loss, and he does so by decision. Daniel Marcos, though, yeah, he's never lost, aside from that Davy Grant fight, which was a bad decision, in my opinion. So it's tough to know exactly what his first loss will look like, but I'm thinking Castaneda in general out hustles him and wins a decision by mixing up takedowns. And John is the better grappler and the better wrestler, and I do think he's the more likely guy to hit takedowns. And on the feet, it's not like he's lost. He's a good striker, but Daniel Marcos, that's his bread and butter. He's a Muay Thai guy, and I think the best path to victory against him is grinding him, taking away his Muay Thai by pinning him to the ground or against the cage. John Castaneda, he has been defeated. He's been defeated 6 times. He's got 2 knockout losses, the first of which comes to Matt Brown, not that Matt Brown, but another Matt Brown, where he got caught, countered. He got countered, thrown a high kick, and got knocked down and then pounded out. And his last TKO loss was in his last loss to Daniel Santos. Daniel Santos beat him in the UFC a year or two ago. It was a fight where John Castaneda was winning early and had him badly hurt and was all over him, but he wasn't able to close the show, and then he faded a little bit in round 2 and got overwhelmed and TKO'd. That's the exception, though. Normally, John Castaneda is the guy with the better gas tank, and he does, in general, I think he has a really good gas tank. And I'd say typically he's the one that's more likely to get the later finish, regardless of who he's fighting. But those are it. That's it for his knockout losses, and then he's got 4 other losses, all of them by decision. We saw him lose by decision in his UFC debut to Nathaniel Wood. Nathaniel Wood is a very good fighter. He's a guy who I feel like I haven't seen in some time, but very good fighter, formerly a bantamweight and now a featherweight. And he had a little too much for John Castaneda. Castaneda was a step behind throughout that whole fight. His other losses before that, he had one to Jose Alday. That's Jose Alday, actually. Jose Alday in Combate, and this guy, Levi Marakin. And both of those were close fights. I thought he won the Alday fight, definitely, and the Levi Marakin fight, I thought he lost, but he still gave a good performance there. And then he lost to that guy, Matt Brown, who knocked him out. He lost by split decision to that Matt Brown in a rematch back in 2014. So most of his losses are by decision, and most of them are close, if not all of them. Really, the Nathaniel Wood fight is the only one that isn't close. But I still consider him a healthy, gritty fighter, despite the somewhat recent knockout loss to Daniel Santos. In fact, he is the more dangerous guy between the two on the feet, between he and Daniel Marcos. Marcos may have better striking with his Muay Thai, may be able to make more things work for him. But John Castaneda, he's knocking down a lot of his opponents, if not knocking them out. I know Eddie Wineland doesn't have the greatest chin, but he got Eddie Wineland out of there. Miles Johns, who has, I feel like, rebounded in the last year or so and picked up some good victories. He roughed up Miles Johns, dropped him, and in the end, he went through him with an arm triangle choke in round 3, which was very impressive. He really turned it up in the end against Miles Johns there. And of course, Daniel Santos, he nearly had him killed, hit him with a big head kick early on and wasn't able to close the show. And in the Muin Gafarov fight, which was 2 fights ago, his danger was there for him there as well, but he ended up winning a decision. That was a really good performance from him. So he's definitely a dangerous guy, John Castaneda, and he's already shown so inside the UFC octagon. So even though Daniel Marcos is the more pure striker and the better striker, I would guess, John Castaneda still has a lot to offer, and he's got danger on his side. Daniel Marcos, he's got 15 wins. Half of them are by decision. That's right. He won 7.5 fights by decision. You heard that here at MMA Al Dente. He won 8 fights by knockout, 7 by decision. So he's definitely more, and he also had a no contest in his last one. Daniel Marcos is not the most potent finisher. He's a very patient fighter, despite all of his skills. And he's still gotten some great finishes. I mean, the Simon Oliveira finish was incredible, and he's gotten some other nice finishes. But, against John Castaneda, I think that patience is going to haunt him, and it's going to hand him his second loss. But John Castaneda, I do think things would go much more smoothly if he was able to take Daniel Marcos to the ground. Without the takedowns, Daniel Marcos, you're in his world, but Castaneda still has the pressure, and he's got danger on his side and good striking as well. He's definitely not out of the realm of winning that fight. But I think the fight I'm envisioning him winning is with takedowns. And that is the pick. I've got John Castaneda outpointing Daniel Marcos. I think it'll be narrow, but I think it will go John Castaneda's way. I haven't bet on him yet, although I'm tempted to. The odds are pretty much a toss-up right now. Both guys at negative money, so to speak, or negative odds. So, John Castaneda is the pick. I'll wait till the props show up to see what to bet on. But, very low confidence, but he is my pick. Like, share, subscribe, all that horse shit. Check out my other videos.